Hi, my name is Jim Purdy, and I'm the founder of the Purdy Firm. I'd like to introduce myself to you and talk to you for a few minutes about why I do what I do with regard to estate planning and how I became an estate planner in the first place, and ultimately what led me to founding the Purdy Firm so I could provide these services to the people of Florida. So my story actually starts right out of law school. I took a job as a JAG officer in the United States Air Force. JAG stands for Judge Advocate General. So I was a new attorney in the Air Force, and one of my first assignments was on the deployment line for airmen who were being deployed overseas, and they would come through the line. There were different specialties. There was the doctors giving shots and inoculations and such, but when it came to our part of the line, we would ask them, do you have a will? Do you have an estate plan? And if they didn't, then we would have them fill out a fill-in-the-blank will, literally fill in the blank. Put your name here, put who you want your beneficiary to be here, put who you want your executor to be here, and then sign it. And we would have witnesses and such to make sure it got signed properly. Now, that's not a very effective estate plan. It's better than nothing, which was the thinking behind it, but it's not an effective estate plan, and we knew that. And so I resolved very early in my career, within the first year, when I was doing these sorts of estate plans with fill-in-the-blank wills, that wasn't the way that I wanted to practice law. And so I decided that when I did estate planning from then on, I would do individualized and personalized estate planning for my clients to make sure that whatever we produced, whether it be a will or a trust, that it would meet their particular needs and their particular circumstances. Because let's face it, we're all different, and we all have different circumstances. We all have different estates, and we all have different ideas of what we want to have happen when we pass. And so a one-size-fits-all or a fill-in-the-blank kind of estate plan just won't hack it if you're going to do it right. So I had decided early on that we were going to focus on that, and we were going to do things right. So I became an estate planner actually not right after the Air Force. After the Air Force, I took a job here in Tampa with a national law firm who did plaintiffs work. We sued nursing homes on behalf of residents who had been abused or neglected. And what I saw there was that so many of them died without any kind of an estate plan. And that's common because statistically only about 30% of Americans have an estate plan when they die. That's a terrible figure because we all need one. We all know what's going to happen. Ultimately, we will all need an estate plan, but only 30% of us have the foresight to plan ahead and to put into place something that will protect us and our loved ones after we're gone. But what I found in that nursing home context is family members who were grieving the loss of their loved ones, usually in pretty atrocious circumstances. And on top of that, they had to deal with not having an estate plan in place. So they had to go find an attorney, and they had to set up a probate estate with the courts, and they had to find an attorney who would do that, and they would have to pay them, and they would have to wait, and sometimes it would take years for that whole process to complete before the estate was wound up and they could finally release their loved one's funds and the rest of their estate. So I learned from that a couple of very valuable lessons. Not only is it important to have a personalized, individualized estate plan in place before you pass, but you need to make sure that your loved ones know about it and understand it so they're not caught off guard and unawares. And so I added that component to my practice as an estate planning attorney. So ultimately I left that practice, I left the litigation, and I started my own firm. And as part of my new firm, we focused on estate planning. And that has been a primary focus of mine ever since. In fact, I've enjoyed it so much that I wrote a book about it. So you can see it just over my shoulder here. There's a copy of it there, but it's called Estate Planning Success because it's important to me as an attorney, as an estate planning attorney, to make sure that our plans are successful, that what we produce is actually going to accomplish what our clients want. So we don't do fill in the blanks, and we don't do one size fits all because there's no such thing as one size fits all. We're all different. We all have different ideas and different plans and different desires and different circumstances. And we have family members who have different ideas and desires and circumstances that we need to appropriately plan for. And so my focus has always been to provide that individualized and personalized estate plan that is going to allow you to pass your stuff, your property, your estate to the people that you want it to go to in the manner that you want it to go, and without any unnecessary red tape or taxes or government involvement or court involvement or anything like that, to make it as seamless and as easy as possible on everybody involved. And that's ultimately why I founded the Purdy Firm. The Purdy Firm has been dedicated since its inception to providing the highest quality estate planning possible, to working with our clients as a trusted advisor to produce the kinds of plans that will accomplish everything that you want to do. If you have a child who is suffering from a gambling addiction, you can plan for that. You can protect their inheritance against themselves. If you have a child who's married to somebody that you're not overly fond of or who you think might be just out to get whatever they can from your child, you can plan for that and you can protect the estate against a divorce. You can plan for any kind of contingencies. As long as you think ahead and you work and collaborate with us, we'll be able to put a plan together that meets your specific needs and circumstances. So if you want us to help you set up an estate plan in Florida, give us a call or click the link included with this video or check out our website. It's thepurdyfirm.com, and you can book a virtual consultation with us and we can talk about whether we'd be a good fit with you in getting your estate plan established.